everyone. Here we are jumping into how to make New Year's resolutions that stick. I'm going to share an experience from my own life in making a New Year's resolution that sticks so that you can learn those steps. Remember, it's what do I want to start or stop doing, and then what's the old belief that's getting in my way, and what's the new belief I need to hold. And so let's jump into my story. I realized that my resolution was I want to have control over when I'm helpful, because people were telling me that, Anne, sometimes your actions are not actually that helpful when I was trying to be helpful. And so my New Year's resolution was offer help when people ask for help, which seems very easy to do. Offer help when people ask for help. Or reversing that around, saying, wait until people ask for help before helping, right? And that seems pretty simple on the surface of it. Just wait until somebody asks for help until you help. And yet it was anything but simple. And in fact, I had to put it as a 30-day challenge for myself where I cold turkey stopped helping people because it was so hard for me to wait for people to ask for help. Is what I realized as I started on this resolution is that I was scanning the environment to look for how could I possibly help people, and then jumping in and being helpful. And people were saying, no, it's actually not helpful, it's annoying. And it was getting in my way as a leader, it was getting in my way as a parent of teenagers. And here's two scenarios that were getting in the way, right? One was with my teams, was at the end of a meeting, I would compulsively offer help, and that was stealing them their opportunity to do whatever it is that I was doing, because I wasn't thinking, what am I uniquely qualified to do and what do I need to do that they don't need to do? I was just jumping in to help. And the same thing with my kids, they were getting ready for an event. I wasn't thinking, this is a great chance for them to practice making sure that they remember things, and maybe they'll forget some things, or maybe and they'll learn about that, like they'll learn their own lesson. And instead I was like, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? Have you thought about bringing this? Those things were not helpful. So I had to cold turkey it, and I needed a new belief. And at first my belief was the negative belief. The new belief was, it's annoying when you help when you haven't been asked for it. But as a couple days in, I realized the positive belief is, Anne, you're empowering other people when you wait for them to ask, when you wait for them to identify what their own need is, and then ask you. You're empowering other people when you wait for them to ask. And that was the clincher for me. So for 30 days, I did this new behavior, which was I waited for people to ask me for help while holding that new belief. I am empowering people when I wait for them to ask me. And guess what? After 30 days, I have so much more freedom. I have the ability now to actually make a choice. And during those 30 days, I had to be very strict. I couldn't even, when somebody came over to my house, I couldn't even offer them a glass of water, right? Because I had to wait for them to ask me for that glass of water. But now that I have this freedom, now I can make a choice, because now my very identity isn't tied up in being helpful anymore, because I realize that I am empowering people when I wait for them to ask me to help them. So those are the steps. You think about what you want to start or stop doing. You get the old belief. My old belief was that my very worth was tied up into being helpful. My old belief was people want me around because I'm helpful. And what I found out after 30 days was that When I told people, for the last 30 days I've been trying not to be helpful, not a single person said that they had noticed that. Nobody had noticed. While I was making this significant change in my belief system and in my behavior, nobody noticed. So that is the beauty in it, is that we can make these changes that seem monumental for us and that give us degrees of freedom without disrupting everybody around us. In fact, making their lives better and our lives better at the same time. If this was interesting to you, I would recommend joining me for the 28-day Step Into Yourself Challenge. And I put details down below. You can also, of course, hit subscribe and notify so that you'll always get whatever it is that I'm creating. And so remember, you can make a New Year's resolution that sticks. You figure out what you want to start or stop, and then you figure out what belief is getting in your way and how to have a positive belief that you hold and you say to yourself every time you do this new action or don't do the action. All right. Happy New Year.